Today we're going to look at a variety of Tesla Powerwall installations, the different ways they can be mounted, including wall mount, floor mount, and using a stacker kit for multiple battery installations. First, let's look at installing Powerwall on a brick wall. The brick veneer construction has a cavity between the brickwork and the timber frame. An advantage with installing on a brick cavity wall is that we can access this cavity to be able to run and conceal our cables for a neat installation. Here is a great example of our workmanship on display. The first Powerwall seen on the right hand side was installed by another subcontractor company. Penrith Solar Centre was engaged for the additional battery, and as you can see, we have hidden all the cables in the cavity of the brick wall, both for the longevity of the cable and for aesthetics for the client. Not only is this a much more minimal and neat finish, it could have been done in the first place on the original battery. And what was even more surprising on this original installation is how they managed the gateway. The Tesla gateway is the brains of the system, and the way they manage the cables in here is nothing short of a mess. In complete contrast of how we install a Tesla gateway and manage the cables neatly and have pride in our work. It's clear to me, how you do one thing is how you do everything. So if someone's cutting corners on cable runs to batteries, they're going to be cutting corners somewhere else. And this Tesla gateway is an example of that. Let's look at some other Powerwall installations. We do our best to conceal the cables inside the wall for all battery installations, whether it's brick or clad. But this is more difficult for cladding installations because there are horizontal timbers called noggins and other obstacles inside the wall cavity, such as insulation, that can make it difficult to run the cables from the battery to the roof or floor to get it down to the switchboard.
I've just obviously packed out the bracket so that it sits flush along the wall and it doesn't, because of cladding, it's sort of naturally leaning forward, and if you try to screw it in, it's just going to be all over the shop and bending the bracket. So pack that out so that sits now flush and straight. I've just drilled a hole here for the cable entry, the rear entry of the TES, so you don't have that conduit all over the place. I've just tried to tongue down, but the boys under the house will just have a bit of a trouble trying to, and I obviously would have been hard trying to get the tongue through the one hole, whereas they have 3 holes to go through and I have a lot more variation. I can grab a hook wire and just sort of reach all the way around, whereas they probably couldn't do it from under the house. So it's just opted for the easier route for everyone. And then I've made sure I've shoved a tongue up there, made sure we can get to these 2 holes here for the isolator, which is a requirement. And we'll just go under the house, drill a hole in the bottom plate and get the cables up to the isolator, then through the isolator to the battery, and clean install, no conduit needed.
And lastly, the locations for battery installations are most commonly on the outside of a wall, with sufficient clearance from air conditioning units, gas bottles, windows, and other obstacles. Also, we can install a battery on the inside of a garage, because a garage is a non-habitable space. The difference between an average battery install and the best comes down to the people who installed it, the quality of their work, the attention to detail, and products used to complete the install. All of these factors add together so that your battery can stand the test of time, which is why all of our installers are in-house employed electricians. Rob, our head of training, is regularly running workshops in our training facility to ensure our installation standards. This is how we guarantee the best quality installs day in, day out, helping everyday Australians make the switch to a renewable future. It's the best or nothing with Penrith Solar Centre.